Hi everyone, I'm Petek Köke, and in this video series I will be teaching vocabulary for advanced learners. In the first video I will be talking about vocabulary learning techniques for advanced learners. To start with, I'm going to talk about how to learn vocabulary, then I will give some useful tips to learn new vocabulary items. So let's start with a question. Do you remember how we learn vocabulary items in our own language, in our native language? There might be different answers to this question, also it may differ to anyone, but there is one strong idea among the theories and ideas about it. The key word is context. Context means the situation or the information that is related to something and it helps you to understand it. If you learn any vocabulary item in a context, it also means that you learn the new words when you're reading or listening. You learn a new word by seeing how it is used in a sentence. And many learners try to memorize a list of individual words. The fact is that learning isolated words without context is just a waste of time and effort. That's why in our books, we have different units and different topics every day. As you all know, one week we're talking about money, for example, but the other week we're doing activities related to the topic environment. In this way, we are trying to create a context and a theme for you to teach vocabulary. Let's move to 5 important steps to learn new vocabulary items. The first one is encountering the word somewhere. I mean, you should first see the new word you're trying to learn in a book or hear it from the first time in one of the episodes of your favorite TV series. Second step is to get a clear image by visualizing or hearing it from the new word from somewhere. Then in the third step, you should learn the meaning of the word either in your mother language or the target language, which is English right now. You should learn what the word means. As the fourth step, you should build a memory connection between the form of the word and the meaning of the word to use it, which leads you to the last step, using the word. There are also some useful tips to learn new vocabulary items. And I think the most effective and also the most functional one is keeping a vocabulary notebook. Honestly speaking, I have learned many new vocabulary items by doing this. Shortly after, I'm going to talk about how to learn how to keep a vocabulary notebook by giving some tips, including grouping the vocabulary items, which help you memorize new vocabulary items. Thirdly, you can learn parts of speech of the word, which means whether the new item is a noun, a verb, or an adjective. You're familiar to the next tips. The one is reading books, listening to the TV, radio, or podcasts. Another useful step to practice English is speaking with native people. I know it may be difficult, especially these days, but I will show you some ways to do it at your home without going somewhere. Last but not least, using traditional materials is another useful tip. You can read books as readers, use dictionaries. They are really helpful in terms of vocabulary learning. You can also practice English with a friend online, so you should keep studying online. Let's look at all of them one by one and start with how to keep a vocabulary notebook. It is a great example of a vocabulary notebook page. Let me explain why it is great. As you can see, labeled as A, there is the word itself with the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation. The word is also separated into parts labeled as B. You can do it for the words with suffixes and prefixes. It will be really helpful to memorize them. On the right side of the page, there is a small symbol showing what is the word related. It helps you visualize the word. By doing this, you will never forget the meaning of the word. you can add synonyms and antonyms labeled as G. Then you should write the meaning of the word with some examples and collocations. They are really helpful. By speaking of collocations, I want to show you another example. If you learn the words with the collocations and the related words like this, you won't make such mistakes in this example. It says many people make crimes every day. We need to conclude our crime problem soon, but as we all know, we don't use making crimes. We generally say committing crimes, and we don't conclude our problems, but we solve our problems. As I mentioned a second ago, another useful technique is grouping the similar or opposite words. This activity is directly taken from North Star 4 books. As you can see, they group the adjectives to teach you in an easier way. By doing this, you can remember whether a word has a negative meaning or positive meaning, and it is very helpful in terms of keeping a vocabulary notebook. Another technique is learning parts of speech. This is also taken from your books. By doing this, you will not only learn different words at a time, it also enables you to use them in a correct way grammatically. The other tip is reading books, listening to the radio, podcasts, and audiobooks. You can find them depending on your interests, and they are really effective ways to improve your vocabulary. While speaking of books, there are thousands of PDF books online according to your interest. Let's say if you like crime stories, you can read the ones you like. For audiobooks, you can download and listen to them wherever you are. Similarly, to discover all free and trending podcasts, you can use Spotify application, Google Podcasts, or listen to BBC podcasts for more academic subjects. You can Google them and find them really easy. It's really easy. You can also find podcasts in many different subjects. It's like joining someone's conversation and listening to them by learning from them. I really like podcasts. Before going to sleep, you can enjoy audiobooks and podcasts and explore new words in a really different topics. I know that you're spending a lot of time in front of the TV or on your computer watching TV series, movies, and Netflix, of course. If you're watching Netflix on your computer, I'll give you a great tip. Here, what you're doing. Google language learning with Netflix. It will open a page like this. The page offers you a Google Chrome extension. If you click on the button, it will download the extension on your computer, and this is really easy. This extension will be your best friend in terms of learning new vocabulary. After downloading the extension, go to the Netflix page. Choose something to watch, like you always do. Then from the settings, choose English as the language of the movie. Choose Turkish as the translation language, just like in the example given. You can see in the picture. When you do this and play the movie, you will see English and Turkish subtitles together. And what's more, let's watch it.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, sir. Hey, look. We're food stain buds. Who are you wearing?
Wearing. Porridge.
Porridge?
Oatmeal.
This is great because you can click on the word that you don't know the meaning of. It will show you the meaning with the correct pronunciation and the synonyms. By doing this, you will be learning vocabulary in a context and in a really fun way. And please note that you can use this extension for other languages too. Practicing English with a native speaker can be one of the most effective ways of learning English vocabulary. And the great thing is you can do it at your home. Cambly is very popular, as you all know, but there are alternatives like Palfish, English Ninjas, italki, and Preply. Those are all useful and really effective applications and websites which enables you to practice English with a native speaker. There are also some useful apps which will teach you vocabulary, and they're really fun too. You'll love them. So download them after watching this video. First one I want to talk about is Build My Vocab application. It teaches vocabulary through short movie clips. If you don't like watching Netflix or you like watching shorter clips, it is great for you. The other one is Power Vocab. It's a definition matching game, like a quiz format, and you should match words against multiple choice definitions with the different answers. You should compete against other players and you should play against the clock, but I need to note that this is for Android only. The third one is Magush Vocabulary Builder. This quiz app is really similar to Power Vocab, but it is more academic because it is specifically aimed at improving scores on GRE exam, which is a really advanced exam. So I think this application is perfectly for you. The fourth one is a word a day widget. From the people who brought Power Vocab, a word a day widget puts a new vocabulary word on your device's home screen every day. This is also for Android only, but if you're using iOS, you should try Word of the Day widget, which is quite the same. The last one is Words with Friends. This is a highly successful game from Zynga. You all know that this is the company behind Farmville. And the only way to win in game is to find uncommon words. That's why it forces you to learn new words, although not ones you're likely to find on an exam or a book or any kind of materials. Plus, it's a nice way to stay in touch with distant friends. It is for available Windows, iOS, and Android, so you should definitely download it. Now, you're ready to be advanced learners because advanced learners use diverse and multiple sources of new words such as antonyms and synonyms. Advanced learners use the internet as the most popular source of new vocabulary. We have mentioned many of the ways of using the internet to learn new vocabulary items. You should try most of them. You should use your mobile phone, your computer, and play your games in English without realizing it will teach you a lot of vocabulary items. You should use other vocabulary learning tools like Kahoot, Duolingo, YouTube, and you should also use traditional sources of vocabulary, dictionaries, readers, and quizzes. You can also benefit from the materials that your teacher shared with you. This was the end of my video, guys. Thanks for joining my class online. So see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more information, you should visit our website.